So I wrote an article for Perfect Traveller saying I'm fed up. Fed up with food, fed up with people talking about food, fed up with travellers coming to Italy and you show them the Pantheon or in Venice, you show them Giorgione painting and you rattle on and you know that when they go home they'll be talking about the perfect mozzarella, the best olive oil they've ever tasted in their life. And it gets repetitive and banal. And that's why I get frustrated, because I'd like them to be talking about that perfect statue that they saw, or Michelangelo's David in the Academia in France, or whatever. But you said something very interesting. You empowered food. And I never thought about food as a social condition or as a means of improving society. Do you think that's kind of exaggerating a little bit?
You can't know what's going to happen. You can't know how things are going to happen. Most things that happen were never predicted. But the fact is that if people start thinking about where their food comes from, if the people who first prepare the food, and that's happened, the people who prepare the food, chefs, have become, sort of famous and celebrities, and we can all say how silly that is. Chefs are the new rock stars or whatever. But if in doing so, the actual food that people eat becomes elevated to something other than something that's worth considering, then if the people who produce the food acquire some status, then if the stuff that goes into what you're eating becomes important, then the people who produce the people behind the scenes, the people who pick food, the people who grow food, those people acquire sort of successively increased status, and then you have to accord more respect to people in professions and people pursuing life, people who make their living doing things that we used to not think too much about, whether it's farmers or pickers
Does that filter down into the average household dinner table? Does that mean that people, and not those that can afford to eat well?
It doesn't really need to, in a way. I mean, at the external level, it can look pretentious and banal. You can look at a menu that says, "Oh, I'm having, Hog Island oysters and Bob Kennard's Cardoni in this menu," and you can say, "Oh, how silly it is that the name of the place that the oysters come from, the name of the place that the cardoons were grown, is on this menu." But if people start thinking that way about attaching a source and a person to the production of what they eat, then the natural human inclination to be respectful and congenial towards people people with whom you're acquainted, people whom you feel you have a relationship with, then results in a situation over time where the producers of those foods get more respect, are accorded greater status, and therefore maybe have a better chance of supporting themselves.